am Anna MacDonald and I'm the Marketing Director for Guinness in Great Britain. Talk was about how Guinness became the nation's favourite pint. And it's a story that I could tell 50 different ways. But the kind of main beats of the story today were, there's a black thread, if you like, that goes through it of distinctiveness or meaningful difference. I'll avoid getting into a kind of theoretical debate on the difference between those two things. But the main beats of the story were about culture and really putting the brand in culture. Secondly, using innovation to kind of challenge perceptions and in some case reality of how you experience the product. And then the third one was about how we've kind of changed the media model, but really the whole marketing model of what we do on Guinness over the last few years. What I talked about at the end was about the importance of listening to culture and listening to people. And I know that might sound really obvious, but so much of what we see comes from inspiration from conversations that we have with people or things that we see in social media. And we're always trying to understand how other people see our brand. And I talked about, I'm a big advocate for inclusion and diversity, but I talked about, like, in the broadest sense of the word, what better way to make your brand appeal to a broader audience than to allow your audience to take the keys to your brand and basically tell brand stories through their own eyes, because then what people then see is all of these diverse perspectives on your brand, as opposed to a kind of one-dimensional view of a small group of people controlling the brand who say, this is how we see Guinness and therefore this is how you should see Guinness. And actually allowing people to interact with your brand and almost market on your behalf, but being brave enough to embrace the fact that maybe it's not strategically perfect or creatively perfect, but it's real, and that means a lot to people, I think, the authenticity. A personal anecdote is I gave a presentation at our company conference on the non-shiny version of the story, where I talked about the meetings that I'd had that went really badly and things that we'd done that kind of failed. And it was probably the best reception to any presentation that I've ever given, because it made me realise that not many people are brave enough to tell the real story. And, you know, it was probably not the whole real story, but enough of it to make people know that we're all human, you know, and not everything always goes right. From a brand perspective, I think, as I said earlier, I think releasing the shackles of the brand a little bit. We used to talk about the perfect pint, and we still care deeply about the quality of the beer, don't get me wrong, and how it's served and all the rest of it, slightly obsessed with it. But moving that to talk about beautiful Guinness and to allow, as I said, other people to have a point of view and to talk about Guinness in their own way and really embracing that, I think that's quite bold. To move away from, you know, I said on stage that you know, there's an amazing legacy of unbelievable marketing work on Guinness, right? So being in my job is kind of, you know, a tough gig in some ways. So actually moving away from what was, I guess, a proven structure of big blockbuster TV ads, and saying, actually, that's not what we're going to do right now. We're going to have a slightly different model. That's quite brave, because everybody's waiting for what's going to be the next surfer ad, what's going to be the next swim black, and actually saying that's not going to be at the heart of the briefs that I give. And by the way, that's not to say that we won't have ads like that again, and I played the welcome back ad that we had when the pubs reopened in COVID. I think it's just about recognising in today's world, like, where that style of communication is most powerfully deployed, when you've really got a story to tell and something that you want to create emotion and all the rest of it, but not relying on that to do the job. I think the world's changed, but that's, you know, when you've got a proven model on a really successful brand, it can be quite bold to go against that. Really fun, inspiring, and energetic. Clear your diary. I actually, so it's probably, no, genuinely though, I think I feel sort of sad that I haven't actually had an opportunity to see more of it, because I kind of came and presented and I've tried to see bits and pieces of what's going on. But I think if I'm going to almost like follow through on what I was saying earlier about go out and listen and see what other people are doing, like even if you come to something like this and you get one piece of inspiration, or you meet one person that you think, wow, that person inspired me or told me something that I didn't know, like that one thing is valuable, right? And there's a lot of brilliant people here, a lot of smart, interesting people from different backgrounds. So I kind of feel like if you're in London and it's sort of on your doorstep, then I would clear the diary now and book in.